Hey YouTube, I'm CBGG44 and this is my tutorial on how to build a cardboard Spas-12. First of all, what you're going to need is obviously your cardboard. Get as much different kinds of cardboard as you can, like single corrugated, double corrugated, and just flat, not corrugated, like cereal box cardboard. And then glue gun, glue sticks, utility knife, pencil, and Sharpie. And also a tolerance for burns, because that's going to happen. First thing to do is to sketch out the gun full scale on a big sheet of cardboard, and then cut out each piece to use as a template to make the actual parts. This is just going to help you get all your proportions and shapes right the first time. The first part to make is a receiver, so you cut out, if you're using double corrugated cardboard, cut out each receiver side once, but if you're using single corrugated cardboard, you need to layer two normal pieces of cardboard together and then cut two halves. And then for the grip, cut out just the grip section 3 times for double corrugated cardboard, or 6 times for normal cardboard. And then you just sandwich them all together and obviously layer the grips inside where the grip is. And then you just cut out your ejection door as it is in the real one, obviously. And to shape your grip, just get your utility knife and start carving at the grip itself until you have it like this, or the shape that you want it. Then you take the barrel guard, and obviously it's going to look like this because you cut out the pump from it. So just complete the rectangle on double corrugated cardboard, and then cut out just the first layer around where the vent holes are. For some reason the second layer of my cardboard was white, but just is. Yours would be brown probably. And that is what those look like when they're done. To get the same results, you could obviously just get one piece of cardboard and cut them out normally and then layer it onto another piece. Well, that's out of place. Next, behind your receiver door or ejection door, you cut out one piece of cardboard that's going to cover the entire back of it cover the back of the ejection door when it's forward and when it's backwards, and then a smaller strip to go between the side of the receiver and the larger piece. Then you use paint or Sharpie to color the top half of that larger piece black. That's just for aesthetics, of course. And then you layer that large piece and the smaller strip like this, and put them behind the ejection door itself. And make sure you have that piece extending behind the receiver door towards the grip, not in front of it. Next, for the front of the receiver, just cut out these 2 spacers that are the same width as between the 2 pieces in the back, or as thick as you have the layers for the grip, and then glue those into the front of the receiver, just so it holds its shape better. Next, you take those 2 barrel guard pieces, and on the back, if you have 2 pieces layered together, cut out about the first 3 inches of the inner piece, or if you have double corrugated cardboard, cut out just the first layer of corrugations on the inner back 3 pieces, on the inner back 3 inches towards the receiver, and they will look like this. Next, you have to cut out the slot for where your pump is going to go, or the pin between each half of the pump. You could see the measurements here. Yours don't have to be exactly the same. That's just where mine are. Then you glue each half of the barrel guards onto the receiver. You'll put the glue itself on the area where you remove the first layer of cardboard on the barrel halves. That's so you get the right overlap between you get the right overlap of the barrel guard onto the receiver. Next, do the same thing you did on the receiver and cut out 2 spacers as wide as the receiver itself and glue them into the front of the barrel guards again so it'll hold its shape. Next, get the pump section of the gun that you cut out of the original sketch and cut out 2 of them, and then mark where the very front of the slot for the pump to slide on the pump half itself, and then just on the inside make a little hole for the pin to slide into. Yeah. And then for this I used a barbecue skewer, but there's other things that you can use, and just glue it into the one side of the pump half and then slide it through the barrel guard and glue just the pin into the other half of the pump. And then cut out another strip of cardboard the same width as the gun itself, and then glue it between the 2 halves of the pump shape. This is to keep the pump from pivoting around that pin. Next thing to do is to make the ejection door itself. For this, just cut out a piece of cardboard that's a little bit longer and a little bit taller than the ejection door itself. And then you need to make a linkage between the pin that holds the pump on and the door itself. For this I use some music wire, but you can use pretty much any kind of wire, like a wire coat hanger. And then you need to install this by sliding the door itself in between the hole for the ejection door and the black piece of cardboard behind it, and then run the linkage up to the pin between each half of the pump, and then you need to connect that to the pin. I use zip ties, but you can use glue or tape or whatever you want. And then in front of the door itself, between the 2 pieces that it rides on, put a little cardboard plug in there. This will hold the linkage down and prevent the door from coming forward too far. Next is to put the layer on the top of the barrel guard. For this you'll need thinner cardboard like cereal box cardboard, and make sure the grain of the cardboard goes with where you need to fold it. That'll just make it easier and it won't wrinkle as much. And then just trim down each side, each overhang with your knife or scissors or whatever. And then do the same on the receiver top and bottom. And then you only need to do the bottom of the barrel guard up to where the pump ends, because you won't see the rest of that. And then cut out a strip of cardboard that is the width of the distance in between the 2 pump halves, and cut your reliefs so it'll bend to the shape that you need, and then just glue it in there, and then carve down each side like you did for the grip. Next is to start the stock. Just get the cutout that you got from your drawing and then trace it on the double corrugated cardboard or layered single corrugated cardboard and cut out 2 of them. You'll notice on one side it has the extension on the very back of it, so it's pointy instead of round. So you'll need one pointy one and one round one. And then on the Spas-12 it has the 4 holes in the stock itself, and just sketch those out on there and then cut them out. Then after you cut them out, put hot glue on the top and on the bottom of where the holes are. That'll just give it some extra strength and prevent it from bending around where those holes are, because it'll obviously be weakened. Also, the Spas-12 has this raised area on the stock where it's stamped, so sketch that out like this, cut it out, and then just put it on top of the stock half, and do that on each side. And now you want to mark the very middle of the circle that raised area forms. That's where the pin is going to go for it to hinge around. Then you need to measure, and you need to mark, and then punch out the hole where that pin is going to go. Don't try to do this both sides at once, because then one side is going to be off. Make the hole on one side and then on the other. Don't try to do it at the same time. And then you need to measure the pin that you're going to need. I'm using a bamboo barbecue skewer, but like I said, there's other things that you can use. So measure the pin and cut it, and then glue it only into one side of the stock, and then just insert that into the hole that you made for the pin, and then glue it on the other side just to the stock, not to the receiver. Then you need to cut out the two triangles, or rectangles rather, that you need to make the end of the stock itself, and then make two indentations here that Spas-12 has for some reason. Then cut out a longer strip of cardboard. This is going to be the body of the end of the stock itself, and then cut reliefs and then bend it around where it's going to need to fit each side of the stock half, like this. Then once you have that, cut out a hole on each side of it. This will be for your sights, and then two slots like this, so it can pivot around each half of the stock. Then you need to cut out your two holes right where that pin is on the end of the stock, and then measure and cut the pin that you're going to need to attach it to the stock halves. Then cut out 4 little circles of thin cardboard, and then glue those over top of each area where the pin is showing. That'll capture the pins inside it and make it look better. Then, to make the grip look right, you need to take a piece of cardboard and then peel off just the first layer, not the corrugations, but just the layer that covers the corrugations, and then cut it out about 3 times wider than your grip itself, and glue it just in the middle of the grip like this. Or you can also use paper thin cardboard if you already have it. And then cut reliefs around that piece of cardboard where it's going to need to bend around the grip, and then glue each of those tabs down. And then do the same on the front of the grip. And then you need to cut out little smaller strips or triangles of the same thin cardboard, and glue those over where between each tab where the cardboard itself is showing. And then cut out the entire half of the grip in that same thin cardboard and layer it over top of the whole grip itself. Oh, there's 2 of those for some reason. And then to make your trigger guard, just take 2 pieces of cereal box thick cardboard and bend them into the right shape, and then glue them into that shape so it'll hold that same shape better. And then that's off border too. Do the same thing you did for the grip on the pump. Cut out your reliefs and just put down the real thin cardboard where you need it to make it look nice. And then get 1 long strip to run along the entire bottom of the pump. To make the barrels, you'll need to get a piece of cardboard and then completely remove one of the layers, so it's just corrugations on one side and then smooth on the other side, and then roll those into a tube the length that you want your barrel plus about 4 or 5 inches, and the same with your magazine tube. Then to install the barrel, just glue it on each side of the 4 or 5 inches that you added it, and then just slide it into the barrel guard. If that's out of order again. Just slide it into the barrel guard, and then on the very end of the barrel it has that raised area, so just get the same cardboard that you use for the barrel and wrap it around like that. And for the magazine tube, just glue a piece of cereal box cardboard on the very end of it, and then trim it down so it has a nice cap on it. Like that. Why are there 3? If your barrel or magazine tube isn't wide enough to fit into the barrel guard correctly, just put a piece of cardboard on each side of it and then glue it from those pieces of cardboard. You also have to make sure you have enough clearance above your magazine tube for the pin inside the pump. So you might need to notch out the top of that magazine tube. And then just put another collar around the end of the magazine tube, just because it has that. And then put in your trigger, use the same cardboard that you did for the trigger guard. And then this extension in front of the trigger guard, I don't know what it is, but just cut out 2 pieces of the shape that you need, and then put a piece of cardboard, or a thin piece of cardboard, over top of it, and glue it in front of the trigger guard. Then you need to make your this little piece so the stock doesn't fold back too far, so it catches on it. And to make that, you need to fill the corrugations of the cardboard with hot glue just to make it stronger, and then glue it. You only need it on one side. To make your sights, just cut out the shape of the sights you want, pretty much. And then, well, that's pretty straightforward. And then just add all of the other details that you want with Sharpie. You can also either raise or recess these, but I just like the look of the black accents. And there, you're done. I just realized I forgot the charging handle in this tutorial, but you just glue that right to the ejection door. You can actually move the action with it, but yeah, it's there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it was helpful and informative. If you want to see a specific gun on the video of the Spas-12 itself, the first gun that gets 20 requests in the comment section, I'm going to build it and do a tutorial on it. So if you want to see a specific gun, go to that video and comment there. So comment, rate, subscribe, and check out the rest of my videos. Talk to you next time.